to Financial Focus, brought to you by the best of the best in financial services, as named by the readers of the Lake City Reporter for 9 straight years and running. The team from GulfCoast Financial Services celebrating more than 31 years in helping proactive planners, savers, North Central Florida residents achieve their financial goals through the financial and retirement planning process. Having that plan in place, the financially focused written plan for your financial future. And founder and CEO of GulfCoast Financial Services, John Kuykendall, here with us as always. And in an homage and a tip of the cap to Groundhog Day, we're going to be talking about something that I guess Bill Murray got a second and third and fourth chance to do things over until he got things right. Repeating common mistakes, John, something that we as individuals don't have the chance to have a do-over because we only have the one shot at an ideal retirement.
Well, that's right, Peter. We only have one time to make those decisions about when to take Social Security, how to sign up for Medicare, working on taxes, tax planning, planning for the future. And if we don't do it ahead of time, it's too late. We're not the Bill Murrays of the world. We don't get to repeat every day over and over again. It gets kind of monotonous after a while, but unfortunately, there are many times that my clients and myself, we wish we had a do-over. There are no mulligans in life. And so you need to plan. And that financially focused income plan, Peter, will give you the roadmap to make all of those decisions in an informed, timely manner. And so you know everything you need to know before it happens. And that's what it's all about.
Yep. Well, on a recent program, we talked about getting our savings on track for the year and the years ahead. But number one mistake here, John, is not saving or investing enough. And, one time this can be a mistake, but a lot of people repeat this over the course of their years and throughout their career. A politician recently proposed that Social Security and retirement age may need to move back to 70. It was not a very popular idea, but it really does hint to the fact that we may not be doing all of the things that we need to do personally. And if we don't want to wait that long, that we need to be doing more to save and prepare ourselves better for retirement.
Well, Peter, back in the 80s, we decided that we were going to do away with the defined benefit plans where we get the pension. And companies took those away and started the 401ks. And the idea was the company would match some portion of our savings, but it was up to us to save for retirement. And unfortunately, when we're younger, we think we're going to live forever and we have all this time. But we really don't, Peter, and we make bad decisions. We have too many 401ks. We cash them in at the wrong time and pay taxes on them because we think it's only 10 or 15,000. I need that money to buy that new car or whatever. And so people do that. And, we need to save as much as we can. We don't want to be so frugal that we don't enjoy life. We want you to have a good life as you're growing older, but we don't want you to make bad decisions or not save enough for retirement. I just read something the other day that seniors over 75 or over 80, the divorce rate is triple what it was in 1990 something.
Wow.
So, there's this graying divorce we have now. And according to the statistics that I read, women suffer 45% decrease in income because of a divorce. Men, it's about 28%. So men do a little bit better. But still, when you're retired and you're living on Social Security and a small check, the last thing you need to do is figure out that I've got divorced and I'm going to have to support myself more than I anticipated. How am I going to live? We just need to be saving for those things that we can't take into place now. We don't know what's going to happen now. Certainly retirement age is going up. It will. I mean, there's going to be a point in time where we're going to get less Social Security, we're going to pay more taxes, and we're going to have to work longer. Well, it's just a fact of life.
Yeah. Just because a particular politician was the first one to say it doesn't mean it's not something that is going to be discussed in the halls of Congress and probably pushed through in some initiatives there, because Social Security has told us already that they are in jeopardy. So this is another common mistake, actually, John, is not being informed, not taking the time to try to optimize our Social Security decision and get the most out of Social Security.
Well, that's right. 40% of all retirees are living on Social Security alone. It would have been really nice had we planned that, but you'd be surprised at the number of people that are willing to take a 27% haircut in order to start drawing it early, and then having to limit the amount of money they earn each year because of the penalties involved. You need to know all the caveats of Social Security. And Social Security, they're not there to give you advice. They're there to take your order, tell you how much you'll get at different ages, and have you sign the papers. It's not. They're not going to say, "Wait a minute, if you waited another 2 years, this is what your check will be."
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that also leads into our next common mistake, because if we do make a suboptimal decision on Social Security and receive less from Social Security for life, therefore, we may also encounter the next mistake, which is being afraid to spend. Now, John, money is a tool, and with a well-defined plan, with an optimized plan, hopefully, I know that your goal is for your clients there at Gulf Coast Financial Services is that they can spend with confidence.
Well, that's right, Peter. We've talked about this on several shows about, Halloween, how we give all the candy out up front, and then we run out and we have to turn the lights out and lock the door. And so, then the next year we're too afraid. We're so afraid we end up with bags of candy left over because we didn't give out enough. And so that's the same thing with retirement. We want you to enjoy retirement while you can. I honestly believe, at my age, I know for a fact there are 3 stages of retirement. They're the go-go years when we want you to spend money. We want you to be able to do the trips, do the things you want to do. They're the slow go when you're going to go. You're just not going to go as often and spend as much money. And then there's going to be the no-go where all you're going to want to do is stay home and watch old Westerns. And that happens. I can tell you, it comes. And so we need to know how much money we can spend. I don't have a person that's been in my office that said, I'll look at your plan, but I'm not worried about how much money I've got. Everybody is concerned about running out of money.
Yep. And again, ladies and gentlemen, these are common mistakes. These are mistakes that unfortunately we see repeated, and making them one time. Hey, that's life. Sometimes we make mistakes, but we only get one shot at that ideal retirement. We certainly don't want to repeat mistakes over and over. And that's why the next one I think is on the list, John, is beating ourselves up for what we didn't know. I think, hindsight being 2020, we can always look back with the knowledge that we have today and say, well, I wish I had bought that stock back then, or I wish I had sold out of that stock when it hit this number. But we made decisions based on the information that we had at that time. It shouldn't cause us to continue to be frozen, to make further subsequent decisions moving forward. We need to act based on the best knowledge that we have today. And that, again, boils down to the plan and the planning process.
Well, that's right, Peter. And you can't, because you lost a lot of money in 2008, you can't put your head in the sand and invest in a cash money market and expect to make up what you lost, or to make up for and have enough money for retirement. We have to be invested. It's based on risk numbers, it's based on tolerance, and it's based on monitoring. We can't get our statements and put them in the drawer and say, as long as I don't look at them, I don't know what my 401's doing, so I'm okay. That doesn't work, Peter. We have to be on top of everything, and we have to make those decisions not based on fear or past history, but based upon what's available to us now. I mean, how many people wish they'd have bought Facebook when it came out at $38 a share?
Sure.
I mean, come on. I wish I'd have gotten a lot of it, but we didn't. And so that we can't look back and say, well, I missed that bet. Now I'm going to roll the dice and put all my money in the next hot stock to come forward. It doesn't work. We have to have a firm approach to all of this.
Well, John, the next one on the list is actually a choice and a investing habit and behavior and routine that was probably the right choice for a very long time, but because times and conditions have changed, it may be time to rethink that, and that is continuing to defer and delay taxes. For the better part of the career of the generation that is retired or retiring now, deferring and delaying taxes probably was a good choice. It probably was beneficial. But John, is it time to rethink the way that we're thinking about this and maybe not continue repeating the same behavior?
Well, Peter, when we were taught to defer taxes because we would be in a lower tax bracket in retirement than we were while we were working, the theory was I wouldn't need as much money in retirement. The theory is now out the window. We're going to need as much or more money in retirement as we're making now. We're planning now on not taking haircuts. We're planning on adding for inflation. And so you can't, we can't do that. We can't keep deferring. We have to come up with ways to give us some tax advantage programs, give us some tax free by doing Roth conversions and other things that are available to us. And we have to do those if possible before age 65, because it's going to impact our Medicare and our Part B and our taxes on our Social Security and a lot of other things. So we need to rethink this. But the generation from 87 forward, when we came out with the 401s, you got to remember before that, there wasn't just the everyday guy didn't buy mutual funds. I mean, that was, you went to the stockbroker and you bought an individual stock if you were wealthy. It wasn't available to all of us. And because of the changes in time and the way that, mutual funds have evolved and ETFs, everybody can invest now. And so it's a whole different rule than it used to be. And we need to rethink it. Taxes are going to sunset in 25. And we're going to get new tax codes in 26, if not before. So we have to be proactive and do what we can do now. And we can't wait.
The future is expensive, more expensive than today, and taxes probably one of the largest parts of that, one of our largest known expenses into and throughout retirement. So we've got to plan to be proactive there, John. And like you said, it was not available to the average investor or to the average person, to the average citizen to be an investor. But this generation, it has been, and therefore we've built up the largest amount of personal wealth and investable assets than any previous generation, and yet we seem more unsure about retirement. And that's because another one of the common mistakes, not thinking about retirement as an income problem and planning accordingly.
Well, you got to remember that the generation prior to this one, the one at the boomers now, is they had defined benefit plans. They had a check every month coming from their business.
Pensions.
Plus Social Security.
Yep.
My clients who still have that are actually saving money. They're making money in retirement because of their pensions and because of Social Security. It covers all their needs. We need to think on the same lines. We need to develop our own private pensions. They're going to give us a check every month as long as we live, and also give us some kind of long-term care protection, Peter. Things are going to happen. We're going to go into nursing homes. We're going to go into rehab facilities, and we're going to need extra money. I don't know how many people right now I know who are having to have someone come in and stay with them during the day so that either their spouse can go to work or their spouse can go get groceries or just get a break. And that costs money. And what we're doing is we're eliminating all of the assets they had in order to pay for that. And it's not right. We need to make sure we plan not only for retirement, but for long-term care, for medical costs. Medical costs will be the number one cost during retirement. And it's going to continue to go up. I mean, I read this morning that there was an $18 Big Mac meal at a McDonald's, and somebody was complaining about it. Well, it's not going to be $18 for long, Peter, because it's going to keep going up. So we have to plan for that.
Was that in an airport or or in Hawaii or something.
It
Man,
was,
that's
it was
I
like in a major city.
I
But
remember when they were $3.20, something like
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
remember when they were two for $2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You had
The
a deal all
49
the
cent
time.
hamburger, the 59 cent
Yeah.
cheeseburger, something like that back in the day. And they seemed like they were a little thicker burgers back then too. John, you have to account for inflation, obviously. That's, I guess, the gist of that. You have to account for long-term care. Those are common mistakes that people overlook. Trying to make decisions based on past performance, trying to time the market, not taking enough risk, taking too much risk, not accounting for Murphy's Law. These are all more of the common and repeated mistakes that people make, not reviewing beneficiaries, not having the proper legal documents in place. Some of the biggest mistakes I think we look back and regret are the things that we don't do rather than the things that we do. However, there are a lot of things that people tend to overlook in the planning process, right, John?
Oh, yeah, Peter. There's so much. And when you look at the financially focused income plan, it will do all that for you and take the drudgery and the heartache out of it. Because the last thing we want to do, Peter, is to um, pass away and find out, we won't find out, but our heirs will find out that, the documents weren't filled out, they weren't prepared right. We have to litigate, we have to go through probate. How do we pay bills while we're doing all that? We've got the wrong beneficiaries. Susie died, and now, Aunt May's the beneficiary. How does she get the money? You'd be surprised at the number of people that procrastinate on the estate documents. It's amazing to me.
All right, John, running out of time. We've got just under
Yeah.
3 minutes. We've got 5 questions. So, number one, regarding the common mistake of not saving enough for retirement, are there specific steps that individuals can take to address their current savings trajectory and make necessary adjustments?
Well, with the financially focused income plan, we're going to tell you how much you're going to need for retirement based upon what your projections are for your expenses. So what we can do is we can up our contributions to our 401. We can also, take out additional Roth IRAs, additional IRAs if we qualify. We can put money into a life insurance policy and have it come out tax free. There, we can buy annuities. There are all kinds of things that we can do. We just need to figure out how much we need to save and start saving for it, Peter.
On the other side, some are afraid to spend. What can individuals do to strike a balance between saving for the future and enjoying life as we go and some of their hard earned money?
Well, what we need to do is have a budget. If we have a budget, we know how much we're going to spend. If I'm taking a trip to Hawaii in 2 years, I can save for it. So instead of, just doing it and then getting into debt and then trying to pay the debt off, let's do a little pre-planning, and the financially focused income plan will put that into place for you.
What advice do you have for listeners or viewers who may be struggling to move past previous financial mistakes or encounters and focus on the future financial progress?
Well, what you have to think about, Peter, is the future is coming sooner than you know it. You're going to be old. You're going to not get, we're not going to be able to work forever. So we need to forget about that, put it behind you, get a plan, get a roadmap, and then work towards that journey you're going to take.
With the suggestion to reconsider the wisdom of deferring taxes on retirement dollars, can you discuss the potential impact of future tax changes, the likelihood, and the practical steps for managing tax liabilities for retirement?
Well, we know that taxes are going to change. We've got too much debt. We have to go up. We're going to be higher, and we're the lowest taxes in history. They're going to go up. All we can do is take advantage of legislative changes and what we're offered. And you can't do that unless you do tax planning. And that's what we offer is tax planning with our financially focused plan. We will do some tax planning. We will show you some steps that you can take in your business and also personally to help save taxes going forward.
What are some of the most critical factors for individuals to consider to optimize their Social Security benefits and to help with Social Security, making them more secure for retirement?
Well, for one thing is that we can defer Social Security as long as we can. Up until age 70, after full retirement age, we're going to get 8% a year added to our Social Security. That's a really good return. And so we don't want to make those decisions to draw it early. It's not going away. The government still has it. Even when we run out of money in 2033, we have 72 cents on the dollar to pay out. So why take a 25% haircut now for taking it early and then taking another 23% haircut because we don't have enough money to pay you? Wait, and then let's plan that in the whole plan. We can figure out a way to give you income now and defer that Social Security payment until the last minute.
Well, planning is so important, ladies and gentlemen. We stress that fact here often on Financially Focused, and John Kuykendall and the team talk about it weekly here on the program and daily in the office there at Gulf Coast Financial Services, as well as help you with the plan, construct it, implement it, monitor it along the way, make adjustments where necessary. That is the Financially Focused Written Retirement Income Plan. If you would like to take advantage to get that in your hands, customized, individually specific to you and your situation, pick up the phone and give a call now, 386-755-9018. There is no cost, there is no obligation for a planning review and strategy session with John and the team there at Gulf Coast Financial Services. So just give a call now, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. And John, for folks who call or drop by the office there at Gulf Coast Financial Services, you also make an offer to give them a copy of your book, Quitting is for Winners, but Retirement's Not for Wimps.
That's true, Peter. We've got that book available. We really love to give it out. But let's get that financially focused income plan. We'll go over it with you. We'll explain it to you, and then we can keep it updated from now on.
It is always a pleasure every time we get the opportunity to speak with John Kuykendall from Gulf Coast Financial Services. And ladies and gentlemen, he's looking forward to hearing to speaking with you and to helping you in any way he can in your planning efforts. So pick up the phone and give Gulf Coast Financial Services a call, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. John, always a pleasure having you here on the program.
Thank you, Peter. Great to be here. We'll see you next week. Hey, if you'd like a copy of our new book, Quitting is for Winners, but Retirement's Not for Wimps, I encourage you to click the link below and get your copy today. Hey, we like it when you listen to the show, but we like it better when you like, share, subscribe, or feel free to leave a comment.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.